to B&Q because whilst a lot of you are probably going to shout at me for using B&Q wood and not using the best wood quality possible, B&Q have a very useful service that I'm going to try out today, which is they will basically cut your wood to the exact measurements for you. So I'm going to buy 2 big sheets of plywood and give them all the measurements I need for the kitchen, and they're going to hopefully cut it up and it's going to be nice and straight, and I don't have to worry about getting expensive tools and spending forever trying to cut everything exactly square. So yeah, we'll see how it goes at B&Q, and if they manage to cut it correctly, I mean, I'm sure they'll do their job properly, but we'll see how it goes and I'll update you later. Put my wood for me. We've got our measurements, so hopefully they chop it correct. That was out of my nostril. Yeah, pretty much. Little letter usually. Hard work. Excited, yeah, working hard. Might not look like it, but this is the kitchen. Okay, so review of the cutting service in B&Q. Hopefully when we put it all together it's going to be worth it. Poor guy did get a bit confused and made a few wrong cuts, but maybe that was the way I gave him all of the dimensions and stuff. Maybe it was a bit confusing for him, but yeah, eventually we got all the right pieces we need, so now we'll put it all together and see if it definitely was correct, and I'll explain a little bit more about how we're let's get out of the car. I'll explain a little bit more about how we're gonna join the wood together, because I wanted to go for a bit more of a stronger effect than the last way that I built in the other van, so I'll explain that later. Explain a little bit about how I'm screwing everything together, because I wanted to go with a more secure way than how I did the last van build, because I kind of just screwed random pieces together and hoped for the best. Whereas this time around I've gone for the Craig jig pocket hole method. So essentially I'm using this little contraption that you clamp to a piece of wood like this, and then you use the drill and the specific drill bit that comes with it to drill a hole in here, 2 holes. And then what you end up with is a hole like this, where you then get a specific screw that you can get that goes in here and then comes through and drills into whatever piece of wood you're attaching it to. So say for example like this, it would just drill straight into that. And this method just seemed really secure and easy, and it has been really easy. You just have to make sure you cut all the holes before, drill all the holes before you start screwing it all together, otherwise it might get a bit awkward to get the drill in. So yeah, I just thought I'd explain that because it's been a very easy process so far. And with the kitchen we have screwed, so all of these side panels are screwed into the back, and then they're also screwed into the floor, and I've then attached the main big bits into the metal of the van. So it should be pretty secure, and I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far, so I think it's going to be very solid, especially once I get the worktop on there. So for the whole kitchen we've got these dividers and then the two main back pieces, and then the idea is that there'll be like a door on each side, and in the corner I wanted a way to access the corner and not lose the storage. So instead of having a whole panel that comes here and essentially you can't really get to the corner, I've decided to try and see if this works. So I've got these little thin bits that are the same height as this, and I'll put them in the corner like this, something like that, somewhere about the corner. Drill it into the floor and the worktop once we eventually get the worktop on top, and that will just support the worktop, and I'll be able to use it to attach the door hinges and stuff like that. And I can still reach in here and get to the whatever I decide to store in the back there. So I think that was a pretty good solution for that. Time to get the worktop in place and see how it looks. Okay, I've got the main frame for the kitchen in and it is looking nice. Obviously it's going to have doors and shelves and everything added, but the frame itself looks really good, and it's actually a really good kind of like height and size. I was worried it would like look too tall or too short or whatever, but yeah, happy with how that's going. So for the worktop I'm using timber board, and I'm going to stain it with like a worktop oil, so hopefully it will be a little bit darker than this, but yeah, it also kind of protects it from water and spillages and makes it a bit more hard wearing. So I'm going to start oiling that today and then probably do another couple of coats tomorrow and see how it goes. Good morning, it is time to get the worktops fitted today. Apologies for the noise, the neighbours are having some gardening done. But yeah, I've done with the worktop, I've not really filmed what I've done, but I've oiled the worktop. I've done about 4 coats I think, sanded in between the last coat, and yeah, now I'm going to just attach it. I'm going to attach it the same way I've been doing everything else, with pocket screws. So I'm just going to drill a few pocket holes now and then screw it in, and it should be looking good. I was just about to screw the worktop in, but the sink literally just got delivered, so I think I'm going to cut the hole for the sink first, and then screw the worktop in. Hope that works best that way, I think. Hole for the sink has been cut in the worktop. I definitely would recommend oiling the worktop after you cut it, because now I have lines, pencil lines, that are a bit hard to come out on freshly oiled worktop. But let's see if the sink fits. First cut attempt. Oh yeah, that looks so good. Now I'm going to be doing a separate video on my plumbing situation, because I'm not actually plumbing this in to use as wastewater, so it seems kind of pointless to have a sink. However, it's mostly just a place that will hold my washing up bowl and all of the dirty washing until I wash it. It is a bit bigger than I thought. Maybe I should have gone that way a tiny bit, because now this cupboard under here is going to be pretty small if I do the cupboard the same width as the sink so that it looks kind of symmetrical. But yeah, I'll probably store the water under there and try and figure out what I'm going to do with that corner after. So now I know this sink fits, I'm going to take it back out and screw the worktop in, because it's currently just resting on. So I've already done the pocket hole screws in this wood up into the kind of worktop. The pocket holes, screws, I don't know what I just said. The holes I've already drilled, so I just need to screw up and make sure it's all, make sure my English today is awful. Make sure I get the worktop lined up on every corner, otherwise it's going to be a disaster. I'm going to use some Sikaflex to glue it down, and then I'll probably get some clear sealant and run like a really thin line around the edge. So this will mostly be to like secure it down. It's a bit wobbly, which I'm a bit concerned about. I don't know if it's the sink that's bent or the wood that's bent, so I'm gonna have to try and either choose a side or try and push it down somewhere. But anyway, I'm gonna do that now so it can dry overnight, because I'm driving tomorrow, so I don't want that to be rattling around. I'm not sure what I last filmed for the kitchen, but I'm now going to add in some shelves. So I'm thinking a big shelf here and a shelf in here, and then I'll have some drawers at the top. But I've just got this scrap wood that's like cut straight, so it should work perfect. I'm just going to drill it on the sides, and then that'll be the support for the shelves. So I've got the edges in for the shelves, so you can see here, they look wonky, but they're just scraps, so as long as the top's flat then it's fine, just for it to rest onto. So I've put this one in, I just need to screw it in, and I feel it looks really good. So I'm going to have a massive storage there, and then underneath will be also big storage. I'll leave it kind of for big things, and then this one there'll be like a drawer up the top, and then a little shelf, so that'll be for like more smaller things. This will be the water storage, and then this I'm going to try and build like a little pantry that pulls out, which is going to be very tricky, but yeah, so that should be plenty of kitchen storage, I think. Hello, this is future Shannon editing. I once again did not film an outro for the kitchen video, so I'm going to finish the video here because this is just about kind of the framing. I've still got to do the cupboard doors and things like that, but that will be in a separate video. So yeah, just cracking on with things for now, and I hope you enjoyed watching how I framed out the kitchen, and really excited to make use of all of this storage. There's going to be so much space, it's unreal. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next fan build video.